Whether you're a rookie when it comes to advertising or a seasoned veteran, chances are good you've heard the term attribution. An early example of attribution dates back to Thomas Edison, who said that genius is made up of 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. In recent years, some of the greatest minds in advertising have been working to apply similar clarity to multi-platform ad campaigns. The results are often fascinating, but we suspect even a certified genius like Edison would admit that this kind of modeling can get complicated. Let's say your business is football. Your main objective is to win games. Winning games requires scoring more points than your opponents. Because touchdowns are worth 6 points each, getting the ball into the end zone is the fastest way to rack up points. As a result, tracking the number of touchdowns scored can be a reasonable metric for gauging the health of your business. Having settled on touchdowns as your key performance indicator, you set out to tackle attribution. When your lightning-fast wide receiver runs a fade route and catches the ball in the corner of the end zone, you think, "Hey, this is pretty simple. He gets credit for the touchdown." Congratulations, you've just settled on what is commonly referred to as a last-touch attribution model. In other words, as the last player to touch the ball, the receiver gets 100% of the credit for the touchdown. In advertising, this can lead to performance analyses that give a single website full credit for the all-around positive impact of a multifaceted campaign. But in our football game, just like in advertising, the wide receiver needs help, a passer to actually get the ball to the corner of the end zone. You and your fans understand that passing and catching are intrinsically linked, causing a shift to what is known as a multi-touch attribution model, allowing the quarterback, like the receiver, to count the touchdown as part of his individual stat line. Beyond that obvious link between the pass and the catch, attribution gets even more interesting. For example, there are no stats for the offensive line, and nobody drafts linemen for their fantasy teams. Despite holding their ground and giving the quarterback time to throw the ball, the linemen aren't getting any credit. But if you're questioning whether they contributed to the touchdown, fire up YouTube and search Colts worst play ever to see how the game looks without blockers. Now you're starting to think about other contributors. The offensive coordinator who designed the play, the head coach who recognized a change in the defense and called the play at the perfect point in the game, the general manager who hired the coach and navigated the salary cap to build a talented team. And you haven't even begun to consider what happens if there's a lateral on the play, like in the Dolphins' miracle finish against the Patriots this season. Whether you're talking about football or advertising, attribution can be complex and open to interpretation. The good news for advertisers is that the models are getting better, especially in television. TV advertisers no longer have to wait for customers to carry their TV sets into the store and say, "Look, we saw your ad here." Ultimately, a host of factors, including ad budget and available data, will influence how deeply you dive into attribution modeling, if at all. Wherever you land, you may very well come to the same conclusion as the late Baseball Hall of Famer Yogi Berra, who said, 90% of this game is half mental.